Do you know what good IT budget management actually looks like? Hi, everyone. I'm Patricia Johnson Fung. Welcome back. This is part 2 of the IT budget and cost transparency series. So, before we dive in, here's where we are in the series. Part 1, it was all about the challenges, the pressure, the shifting targets, rising expectations. Today, part 2, we're focusing on the ideal state. Not the steps to get here, because that's part 3, but it's the vision of what it looks like. And then again, in part 3, we'll talk about what leaders can actually do to move forward towards that ideal state. All right, so now that we've grounded ourselves on where we're at in the series, let's shift today's focus. If we strip away the noise, the pressure, the constant fire drills, what does good IT budget management actually look like? There are 4 pillars that define the ideal state. Pillar 1, financial clarity, confident control. Pillar 2, shared ownership, strategic partnership. Pillar 3, it's about portfolio discipline, predictable governance. Pillar 4 is visible value and energized leadership. And again, today is not about how to get there. That's part 3. Today is simply the vision, the picture of what good looks like when everything is working the way it should. All right, so let's start with the first pillar, financial clarity and confident control. In the ideal state, leaders have a clean, trusted view of where the money is going. Why? You can see your run, your grow, transform spends. You understand patterns. You know where you're overspending. You know where you're underinvesting, and the financial story just makes sense. You have a picture overall of your trends over year. So again, what's true at the end? The decisions that you feel confident, they're not reactive. The second pillar is shared ownership and strategic partnership. In the ideal state, budgeting isn't just something that IT owns alone. It's shared conversation across IT, finance, and the business units. Everyone understands their IT footprint. Everyone understands the trade-offs they'll be making. Decisions made together, not just thrown over the wall. Again, so when ownership shared, you have that alignment. It stops being a negotiation. It happens. The third pillar is portfolio discipline, predictable governance. In the ideal state, portfolio reflects strategy. It's not the noise. Prioritization, it's clear, it's consistent. You have rhythms and they're predictable. The governance, it's transparent and people understand how the decisions are being made. There are no surprises. There's no mystery approvals, no zombie projects, hanging around or things that have gone on for years and years and years. You know what I'm talking about? When governance is predictable, it actually speeds things up instead of slowing everything down. And the fourth pillar is visible value and energized leadership. Again, in the ideal state, the value, it's visible. Leaders can see clearly the impact of IT investments, not just the cost. Outcomes are being defined, benefits are understood. You have forecasts for what benefits you're trying to achieve, and then you have actuals being shown for where they're at. Inefficiency, innovation, risk reduction, they're just recognized across the board because the value is clear and people feel energized for what they're working towards. So when value is visible, again, the whole conversation, it shifts from, hey, what are we spending on to what are we enabling? All right, so I'm going to bring this home. So if there's one thing you want you to take away from this part 2, it's that good IT budget management, it's not about just the cutting costs. It's about the creating that clarity, the alignment, the discipline, visible value. And when those 4, pillars, they come together, budgeting, it stops feeling like that constraint and ideally be more of a strategic advantage for you. Again, in the ideal state, leaders share that common financial truth. Governance is predictable. The portfolio, it reflects the strategy, and value of what the IT is doing is unmistakable, not something that has to be defended. Again, this is just what good looks like. Maybe not great, but good. And so the challenge for folks here, again, most organizations aren't there yet, not because they don't want to be, but because it's the day-to-day pressures that everyone's stuck in reactive mode. So my ask for you is to take a look, reflect, how can you improve? Because then the real work is then shifting from today's reality to that future state. And that's where we're heading for part 3. We want to talk about what leaders can actually do to move forward to this ideal state in a practical, grounded way. Thank you. Looking forward to a path forward for IT budget and cost transparency with you.